time management, getting the most of our time. Let's be honest, it's the only asset we're definitely going to run out of, and it's certainly among the most common topics that comes up with clients and people I work with. I'm Andrew Laurie from BGB, and I just want to talk about time today. And don't just want to talk about it, want to share just 4 or 5 ideas. It's not a particular step-by-step structure. It's not a framework as such, just 4 or 5 ideas that I think I've found to be most valuable in getting the most out of my time. So in no particular order, although perhaps this one is in an order, start by planning your time. It's a very simple one, but in an ideal, I think the most productive versions tend to be Friday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, planning the week ahead. I'm a Sunday afternoon guy. I like to do it on Sunday, map out my entire week ahead. If you're not planning your time, then you're starting off with almost zero chance of being really productive and effective. So do plan your time. Once you've got that plan, the second thing is obviously just got to stick to it. It's all very well just planning it, but make sure you actually stick to it and stick to the activities properly. If you've got time set aside to work on something important, valuable, then you need to actually work on it. If you start getting distracted halfway through it, answering a phone call, responding to a text message, an email, these sorts of things, your brain unwires, wires into the new thing, then it has to unwire from that, then has to wire back. It takes about 20 minutes, half an hour usually for your brain to get back to that state of flow, that really in the zone productivity level. So just get rid of distractions. I'd also recommend making sure you've got some sort of accountability in your life. And I like the idea of an accountability coach, in particular one that's not necessarily a professional. I love the idea of, telling my kids, by the end of this week or by the end of this month or the end of this quarter, I'm going to achieve a certain goal by doing certain things. And I tell you what, when I achieve that goal, I'm going to take you to the sports shop and you can buy some new sports kit. They hold me incredibly accountable. They ask me every day how I'm going with it. That's great though, I can't avoid it. So having an accountability coach is fun if you do it that way, and also very valuable. Of course, the flip side of productivity and efficiency is the productivity killers. So avoid those. And what sorts of things am I talking about? There's a long list. Most of them fairly obvious, fairly well known, but most of them it seems ignored by many people. Are you getting the right amount of sleep? How good's your diet? Are you minimizing alcohol, in particular during the week, if that's when you're doing your work? Are you maintaining a level of exercise that gives you good levels of energy? Are you drinking plenty of water? These are all basic things, but if you're not doing those sorts of things, if you're not looking after that side of the equation, it's going to be hard to reach full productivity and full efficiency. Another almost preliminary idea, this is almost comes before planning your time. I think people would be vastly more productive and efficient if they started by actually valuing their time. I made the comment at the beginning, it's the only asset we're going to run out of. It's the most valuable asset we've got. So treat it that way. Think about the most valuable hour you've ever spent. And I'm not talking about a charge out rate or an hourly salary or wage or something like that. I'm talking about an hour when you really got something done. A really productive hour when you were due to submit that proposal, or at university when you were due to submit that assignment. We're capable of incredible levels of efficiency. Think of that level, and think of those hours when you're really genuinely building a great business. The hour when you designed that new marketing campaign that made you an extra $100,000. So think about those hours. That's what your time is worth. In a business context, any hour spent building a really successful business that drives lots of income and one day you can sell for a lot of money, those hours are high value. So before you throw any of them away and waste them, you might want to bear that in mind. People who have a good perspective of the value of their time seem to be much more efficient at using it, much more protective of it. Another way of looking at it, think of it this way. If you waste 15 minutes a day, every working day, don't worry about the weekends, every working day you waste 15 minutes doing however you waste time, browsing through YouTube, whatever's your thing. If you waste 15 minutes every working day, over the course of a year, that adds up to 60 hours. Give or take on average, that's supposed to be about 1.5 working weeks. So just get those 15 minutes back. Erase that productivity loss. And then you can stop complaining about working too hard, and you can have a week and a half extra holiday every year. Simple. Very simple. So the last one I want to talk about, because it just has to be part of any conversation about time, is procrastination. We all like to do it. It's a very natural human trait, because normally we procrastinate on things that are more difficult, longer term, therefore probably more valuable. We don't procrastinate on the little easy things that we can get done quickly and have some immediate gratification with. We procrastinate on the high value things, unfortunately. So just a couple of ideas to think through. The frog, obviously Brian Tracy's book, Eat the Frog, brilliant on this. If you were on pain of life and death, you had to eat a live frog tomorrow, when would you do it? Most people say first thing in the morning, because I want to get it done. I don't want it hanging over me all day. Likewise, by the end of the day, know what your frog is for the next day. What is that big ticket item? What is that high value thing that might need an hour or two? It's high value, but you know it's the one you're likely to procrastinate on. It's probably a little bit difficult. Know what it is. And then first thing the next morning, do it first. Don't go to email. Don't go to Facebook. Don't go to TikTok. Just start your frog and finish it. Similarly, think about the 2-hour workday. And this is not only work for 2 hours a day. This is about start in the morning with something productive, something that's really going to progress your business. Get to the 2 hour mark. If you start at 8 a.m., get to 10 a.m. and you can sit there and say, wow, it's 10 a.m. and I've actually already genuinely progressed my business. I've genuinely improved my business. If I went home now, this would have been a productive day. No, you can keep working, of course, but you have the benefit of you've already had productivity. So there you are, a few ideas, half a dozen ideas that might help with just getting a little bit more out of your time to be as productive and as efficient as possible. It's our most valuable asset. Make the most of it. All the best then.